Okay, in this episode of Star Trek Attack Wing Tactical Table, we'll be talking about Vulcans. So, these are the sum total of the Vulcan expansions, these 5 ships. So there's not a lot to talk about here. They come in 2 classes, the Dakir class and the Surat class. The Dakirs are the bigger ones, with the stats of 3154 for name ships, 3153 for the generics, and the Surat classes are 2143. You know, having one evade dice with smaller ships is kind of disappointing. But they do all have 180-degree front firing arcs, and the big ones also have a rear firing arc. So let's get into the cards here. Let's start with the ships. Ship of class Dakir. Whenever you initiate attack in range 3, gain +1 attack die. Yeah, it's not too bad. You don't kind of stand back anyway. It's got 2 tech, a weapon, and a crew. Decent upgrade bar for 26 points. Here's a Talkir. Each time you defend during the modified defense dice step, you may add 1 evade if you place 1 auxiliary token beside your ship. And with the new rulings, of course, you can only do this once per attack phase. So that's not that great of an ability. Here's the last Dakir class, the Celaya. When defending, you have a scan token beside your ship, roll +1 defense die. That's not too bad of an ability. This one has a slightly different upgrade bar. So does this one. They all have different upgrade bars. Oh, nice. So this one's 1 tech, 1 weapon, 2 crew. Nice. And this one is 1 tech, 2 weapons, and 1 crew. So they all have different upgrade bars on top of it. For the Surat classes, again, 2143, much smaller ships. Whenever you attack range 3 with your primary weapon, if there's a scan token, you gain +1 attack die. So again, it's like the other one, except you have to have the scan token, and updates are 1 tech, 2 crew. And the team mirror is the same upgrade bar, but whenever you initiate an attack, you may disable one of your non-disabled tech upgrades to add +1 attack die. 2 tech slots is not too bad. So those are the basic ships. 3 of these, there's only 2 of these that are retail, and I'm pretty sure none of them are prize ships. I think all the rest are blind boosters. And there's a slight difference here. This one is a newer paint job with the most recent set of reinforcement boosters. And it actually looks a little more boring than the old paint job. It's a little cleaner color though. I also noticed that this ship, this model, has this upside down right here. Look in there. That's on the top. On the other 2, it's on the bottom. That's WizKids quality control for you. So let's get into the crew. 4 points, Solon. Discard this card to repair 2 shield tokens. And +4 of any non-Vulcan ship. 4 points and an action for 2 shields. That's not too bad. I mean, that's how much you'd be paying for 2 shields. It just requires an action to get them. Here's the card that everybody wanted. It was cost 2 points. While the costs are in ship, none of your other upgrades may be affected by your opponents. These, of course, have been errated so it only works once and then it's discarded, just like Koval. And we have Vulcan Commandos, which I have 6 because I have 2 of that particular expansion. 7? Wow, how many of these things do I have? 6. Vulcan Commandos. 3 points each. Action: if the ship is not cloaked, disable all your remaining shields and target ship. Range 2 that is not cloaked has an active ship. Standard stuff. Discard this card and any number of your other Vulcan Commando upgrades. For each one of your upgrades that you discarded, disable 1 upgrade of your choice on the target ship and gain +1 attack die that's round against that ship. And may only be purchased for a Vulcan ship, which is important in the new rule set. I have 6 of those. Probably wouldn't ever use those. So there's not a whole lot of crew options here. Again, there's only 5 expansions. Marak, discard this card to target ship at range 2. Range 1 is going to roll 2 attack dice for every hit and crit. Disable 1 active shield on the target ship. If the ship is cloaked, a hit result flips that ship's token over to the red side. And the fact is, so 1 to 2, that's an action to disable 1 shield. that wouldn't be, that's not that great. Now maybe if you combine this with, say, you may then perform Vulcan Commandos for free if you're able to. That would be nice. Combo with that. But again, it's just not really worth it. Not for just one shield disable. Cove, action discard this card to repair up to 2 damage to your ship's hull or shields. So it's like the other one, except this one is hull or shields instead of just hull, or just shields like the other one. And here's the hull card. When defending, if you have scan token past your ship, you may spin that token to reroll up to 2 of your defense dice. I'm not so sure that's useful. We're re-rolling only 2 of them. Those are all the crew cards. There's really, again, not a whole lot with the Vulcan faction. Let's get into weapon upgrades. They have some decent ones. So we have two versions of photonic weapons. Let's see. Let me see here, 3 and 4. Yeah, so that's okay. So here's the two. Yeah, two versions of photonic weapons, 3 points and 4 points. So it's 4 attack dice. Target lock. Spin your target lock and disable this card to perform this attack. You may roll 1 of your blank results. There's 2 to 3. So it's essentially the same as a torpedo. And this one just costs 1 more point for no particular reason. And then we have two versions of aft particle beam. One is good, one isn't. So we got aft particle beam for 1 point, range 1 to 3, 3 attack dice, just disable. And then we have 3 points for 4 attack dice, range 1 to 3. And both of these can only be fired from your firing arc. Obviously the 1.1 for 3 attack dice is way better. Sure, it's only 3 dice, but it's 1 point. I mean, I really can't complain about that too much. Just 1 point. Let's see, so we have a pile of tech. So, okay. So first we've got 2 versions of combat vessel variant. Both comes with one of the different ships. So both of them have primary weapon and hull values +1. This one is unique and 6 points. And so you gain a hull and primary weapon at 1, so that becomes a 3-1-5-3. I mean that's 4 of your 6 points right there. During the activation phase, if you reveal a 4, you may perform a 5 instead and gain an Ox token. And obviously, it can only be purchased for a Surratt class ship. And this one's unique for some reason. And the other one is non-unique. Same again, primary weapon hull values are +1, and it gains a weapon slot. This upgrade may be purchased for a Surratt class ship, and you cannot deploy more than 1 combat vessel to any ship. So this one's 5 points, and I would say is arguably way better, giving that extra weapon slot, which neither ship has. So those are the combat vessel variants, and we have 2 versions of tractor beam. One is 1 point, one is 2 points. So this is the 1.1. If you attack at range 1 during the modified dice step of the combat phase, you may disable this card to force the attacking ship to reroll 1 of its dice. So if they get a crit, you can disable that and make them reroll it. And this one is a 2-point card. It does the same thing, except it is 2 attack dice. So the extra point for this actually makes sense. But again, 1 and 2 point tech upgrades that can save you from a crit probably aren't that bad if you got the slots and the points. And then we have some other miscellaneous ones. Let's see. Okay, auxiliary control room. At any time you may disable this card to remove 1 Ox token from beside your ship, and any time it means between rounds. So it won't allow you to perform actions after doing a red maneuver. So it's not that great. However, Power Grid will. Not only is it cheaper, but you may disable this instead of gaining an Ox power token. That's way better. And again, it's also cheaper at only 2 points. Very good. Non-unique. Very good card. Power Distribution Net. Disable this card and up to 3 of your active shields to immediately perform a green or white maneuver over the speed equal to the number of shields you disabled. We purchase for a Vulcan ship and have more than one. There's so many other cards that give you other extra movement without the downside of disabling your shields. I don't see any reason to take this one, especially for 5 points. Last one is Sensor Grid. Wall attacks basically is an anti-cloak card. Is what it comes down to. It makes enemy ships flip their cloak tokens to the red side. 5-point deck, and there's a lot of stuff that does that, so if you want to read the wall of text, you're free to do so, but that's essentially just to stop cloakers. Okay, so let's get into the elite talents. Let's do the captains first. Um, 2 point, 3 skill captain. Tefek, add 1 crew upgrade slot to your upgrade bar. Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad way to spend 2 points if you're just don't really care about the captain skill too much. Not a bad choice. 3 points for 4. At any time, you may replace 1 evade, scan, or battle station token beside your ship for 1 evade, scan, or battle station token. If you do so, place an Ox power token beside your ship. This doesn't really need the Ox token, and for 3 points for just a 4 skill, it should be 5. It's an okay ability, but it's not great. Now here's the 2 points for 4. After you move, if you perform this evade action, you may place 2 evade tokens by your ship instead of 1, if your ship is not in the firing arc of any enemy ships. So being a 4 captain skill means it's going to be moving first, so you can get out of their firing arc, get 2 tokens, and then they might be able to maneuver. Now you're in their arc, but this is a good ability combined with his low captain skill. The high captain skill, it wouldn't be that useful. And it's only 2 points for a 4 skill captain. Not bad. Veloz. Action. Target ship at range 2. Disable 1 crew upgrade of your choice on the target ship. Pretty straightforward action there. And he's also an admiral. Does the same thing. So that's an action. Disable a crew. That's not bad. No stipulations, no shields coming down. No need to disable shields. They can have their shields up and be cloaked, whatever. Just disable a crew. It's definitely not a bad action at all. Vanek. All of your Vulcan and Federation tech upgrades cost -2 SP for 3 points with an elite talent and 5 skill. This card's going to become very, very useful, I think, in the future. And I'll explain why at the end of the video. Solak, you may perform an evade or scan action as a free action, and you gain an Ox token. Free action card, definitely not bad. You, of course, you do have to deal with the Ox token, but again, that's not too bad for a 4-point captain getting a free evade or scan. Sopek. Add 1 crew upgrade slot to your upgrade bar. Action. Choose 1 of your crew upgrades that was discarded from your ship and redeploy that crew upgrade to your ship and place an Ox token beside your ship. This is a pretty powerful ability, and again, it was one of those ones that was combined with let's just brain fart all of a sudden, with Varel to cancel an attack. So you would discard Varel to cancel an attack, on your next turn take an action, give Varel back to cancel an attack. Good captain for that. It's definitely not a bad ability, and there's lots of things this could be used with, not just Varel, but he's really good. And the last one, high skill, 4.7 skill, Soval. Target ship with range 1 to 2. Remove 1 scan or battle station token beside your ship. Place an Ox token beside your ship. So many Ox tokens in these skills. They don't really need that downside because you're already using your action to do this. But being able to pull off an existing battle station token, he would need a skill boost to make that really useful. Because at 7 skill, it's not going to be that great. So, but you can give him on him. And that's 3 points for Admiral. Again with the skill 8. So Not a bad ability, but again, at 7 skill, marginally useful. Let's talk about the maneuver dials. And so the Surak class for some reason has red 3 turns and white 2 turns and a rear and a full reverse 1. And the Kyr is pretty much a wallowing slug with 2 reds and 2 3s. Red 2s and 3s. So, not that maneuverable. But really they are primarily for era, because this is all Enterprise era ships, not any of the later series. So that's why they seem a little bit underpowered compared to other stuff, because they're older. But the thing I want to talk about at the end of this video is with the new rules that came out in September of 2017, Vulcans are now part of the Federation. Probably like they should have been from the start. So the rules state that the Federation has 2 sub-factions, Bajoran and Vulcan, and that all Bajoran and Vulcan upgrades now count as their parent faction as well, but not the other way around. So let's say, like with the Vulcan Commandos, let's say they may only be purchased for a Vulcan ship. They can still only go on a Vulcan ship. They cannot go on a Federation ship because they're specific to that. But you can put any Federation upgrades on these things without faction penalty. Which is why Vanek could become, and vice versa, so you can put a Vulcan captain on a Federation ship without any penalties. Which is why Vanek could become a very powerful and what commonly played captain in the future, because Federation tech upgrades are just so good, and getting them at 2 SP each discount, you take 3 of them, I frequently do take 3 of them. I can take quantum shielding, advanced multivariate shields, and then something like a warp jump. It's 3 techs. I can't imagine getting 6 points off of those. That's insane. Especially if you see. Yeah. So, that's why I think he's going to be very good in the future. And Koss is probably also going to see a lot of play on Federation ships. And of course, since these things do only have 2 and 3 attack dice, you can now equip them with the Type 8 and upgraded phasers from the Hood and Lakota, giving them a nice bump to their attacks, which is probably something they could use, because they do have the full Federation action bar with battle stations, target lock, evade, and scan, and the 180 arc, and some of those Federation upgrades that you can take now. Vulcans could definitely be useful. And again, this also goes for Bajoran too. Bajoran captains on Vulcan ships, no faction penalty, because they're all part of the Federation now. Excellent. So many things that could be done, and it's nice because you just really couldn't play Vulcans by themselves. There just wasn't enough cards to have a fleet, especially one that hits hard enough to do any damage. So, but now you can do a lot of Federation tricks with your Vulcan ships, which is very nice indeed. So that's going to cover it for this episode of Star Trek Attack Wing, Tactical Table, and I'll talk to you later.